Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing with you a very exciting collaboration with my good friends Delaney, Mena, and Austin Crumley. You can find both of their links to their Instagram pages below and also on the screens in just a moment. But today's a really cool conversation that I wanted to share with you all because did you guys hear how I just said you all? Like I started to say you all as if I'm not like very much from Texas. Excuse me. Y'all, yeah, even my cat got upset. Hold on. Sir. Let me take care of that. Let's go. Bye. Hey. We're back. What was I saying? Okay, totally lost my train of thought because of the cat. But what I think I was saying is that today we're here to not only talk about turnout and how to maximize it, specifically some things that we see through our experience as dancers and then also as professionals working in our respective categories, and things we see blocking dancers from developing turnout that is their personal best. So that's what we're going to be addressing in this video. And I also do want to mention that throughout the video, we do talk about this program that we've put together that is now open for enrollment. And I just wanted to briefly talk about that before we get into the video. The three of us have come together to really develop this program. It's a 4-week intensive that will be running throughout May. We're taking 12 dancers only, and the purpose of Turnout Talks, this program, is to help you dancers who are feeling very frustrated with your ability to find rotation. You might be feeling like it's just not for you, you feel stuck, you don't know what to do, you're frustrated, and you really want to start to not only find your maximum rotation, but to feel good and confident in your own body, to feel more stable as you dance, and to find freedom in your movement again from having this firm foundation. So we're really taking this approach of helping you with the mental and emotional component of developing turnout. Yes, there is a mental and emotional component. The mind-body connection is real, you guys, as you probably know if you watch my channel, because I talk about it a lot. The other thing is we also have Austin's expertise as a dance educator. Austin is getting his master's in education as well as having a professional career in ballet and just being an excellent teacher who specializes in using a science-based approach, evidence-based approach to teaching students. He's fantastic at what he does, so he'll be bringing in the component of implementing an understanding of how to work with your body personally to find maximum rotation and implementing that into a ballet class setting over Zoom. I'm going to be talking about, like I said, the mindset, the mental emotional component of optimizing your turnout, and then Delaney will be coming in with her expertise as a personal trainer that specializes in working with dancers to help you understand your anatomy, learn the specific muscle groups you need to target. We'll also be giving you guys not only personalized instruction, but personalized plans for cross-training, things like that. There's going to be a component of meeting all together every Saturday, but also some takeaway material that you get to work with on your own, and then you get to bring it into our Saturday meetings. We'll implement, we'll talk about it. It's a highly interactive program that's really designed to not only help you, but to make you feel very supported and encouraged throughout the process from people who understand what it's like to be in your shoes. So I hope that you will check out the link below to learn all about the program and what it includes and apply to join the first cohort by April 27th. That's when enrollment closes. But if we run out of spots before then, because there are only 12 and we all have audiences of thousands of people, so chances are it will fill up quickly. So do make sure that you apply as soon as you feel the calling to. Do it now. And anyway, that's enough for the intro. I hope you really enjoyed this conversation, and let's welcome my friends, Austin and Delaney. Hey Delaney, hey Austin, welcome to the channel.
Hi.
And thank you guys for being here. Also, I'm excited to have this little opportunity to get the minds together and to talk about the things that block dancers from improving their turnout, because I know from personal experience, this is a huge pain point. It was in my existence. And I know that there are thousands of dancers out there who are like, I tried the clamshells. I try to stretch before class. I try to just do what my teacher tells me when they're just like, turn your feet out, but it's not working. So let's get into it. Well, first, before we get into the meat of the discussion,
Says the vegan. What? I'd love to hear from each of you. Maybe if we want to start with Austin, in brief, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. So, as you guys know, I'm Austin Crumley. I am a ballet educator of the 21st century. So, what that basically means is that I used evidence-based education, like modern educational psychological approaches to the ballet classroom, in addition to what dance science and dance medicine has to offer. So, my ballet training looks a little different. It's still very much the same, but you get a much more efficient and thoughtful ballet class. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, like who I am, what I believe in.
Love it.
We'll probably dive in a little bit later.
Austin, you're doing the Lord's work. I love it. Delaney, what about you?
So my name is Delaney Mena, and I'm a certified personal trainer for dancers specifically. So I kind of like to say I'm the kinesiology side of dance. So I kind of branch the dance with that science part. So mostly I help dancers just achieve their technique goals and prevent injuries with strength and flexibility training. So teaching them what muscles do what and how to actually activate them safely.
Yes, that is so good, especially since I know in my journey, I often was very frustrated as a young dancer hearing pull up, pull up out of your hips. I was like, what the heck does that mean? So having people like you, Austin, and Delaney, who can be like, well, here are what those muscles are. And here is what you're going to feel when they're contracting, things like that. And here's what that does. Making it practical is just so transformative. And if anyone is watching and you're like, who the heck is this girl in the middle? I'm Kirsten Kemp. Welcome to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. I work as a high performance coach for ballet dancers, which basically means that I help dancers with optimizing their mindset to help them perform their best and feel their best. I'm all about the mental and emotional side of dance. So let's get into the turnout talks. Let's talk about turnout. Great. So how about let's just keep this little flow. We'll start with Austin and we'll go to Delaney and then I'll chime in. What are some things that you think blocks dancers from having the turnout that they want to have?
I think so. Let's just say this: that turnout is just innate. It's in you, and what we need to do as both educators and coaches is just kind of help you understand where that might be. So the true thing that blocks us from attaining that turnout could be outside factors. It could be your teachers maybe giving you incorrect advice or advice that doesn't quite get all the way to where you can understand where it comes from. And then it's also that mental blockade, which I'm sure you'll talk about. It's the mental block of my teacher desires this of me, and so therefore I need to get this as soon as possible. So I think honestly, it's that external and that internal factor that really blocks us from getting the turnout. But as you'll see, there's ways to get around it, and it's a little more efficient to get there. I'll just stop
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm all about efficiency. I truly believe that good technique is efficient technique. And we have a lot of outdated ideas of how far effort can take us. And we really overplay the role of effort and force and willpower. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit. But Delaney, I'd love to hear what you think. What blocks dancers from having
I
turnout?
think the biggest thing, which is kind of aside from anatomy, which really kills me, is the power of social media, which I think you might go a little bit into. We see these images of these dancers with this 180 turnout, crazy leg extensions, and everyone just wants that. Everyone wants that quick fix. It's going to happen overnight. But unfortunately, those quick fixes, people are going to say, just do this one thing and you'll have your perfect turnout. Do this one thing, you'll have your perfect leg extension. But what they don't realize is all those things that you may see results, they're just so short term. It's nothing that's going to last or be safe for your body. You're going to wake up the next day and be like, wait, where'd it go?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're back to square one. We're confused again. It's also, I feel like, as Austin was kind of talking about, sometimes external factors, which could be the teachers. They're telling you to just turn out more, turn out more. So you're trying to please your teachers and you're just turning out from just maybe your ankles or just your knees or compensating in your torso, which is actually preventing those correct muscles from activating and turning on, which is then regressing, yes, the word regressing, that technique even more, because it's not helping you achieve more turnout. You may see an image more, but it's not making it any better or correct. So I feel like all of those things. And we also need to acknowledge that everyone's bone structure is different. So what Austin's turnout is not what mine's going to look like. What Kirsten's turnout is not what mine's going to look like. It's never going to be.
Mine's definitely not going to look like Austin's. He has crazy turnout. It's annoying.
So again, that's another external factor, because we always want to just look like someone else, but our body might not be made for it.
Yeah, such good thoughts. Yeah, I totally agree. And from the psychological side of things, one of the many factors that I see holding dancers back, and this was the case for me as well, is like you were suggesting, Delaney, with the social media thing, it's expectations versus reality. And so what I mean by that is I had this expectation from a young age that turnout, like what the goal is 180-degree rotation. Anything less than that is unideal. And since I set my sight on that from a young age, and I set that as the goal, and I had incomplete or inefficient strategies to get there, I was constantly fighting against myself. I had frustration attached to the idea of trying to increase my rotation. And with the mind-body connection, that frustration, that tension I was harboring, that mindset of scarcity rather than of resourcefulness, a resourceful attitude would be, what can I do? What muscles can I engage? What rotation do I have to work with? Instead, I was already fighting an uphill battle as a teenager, thinking, well, this is what I feel. I can't get it open without, pronating. And I know I shouldn't pronate. I was just focusing on everything I was doing wrong. And it led to these beliefs about, I don't have the body for ballet. I can't do this. I had a lot of shame attached to teachers making comments about my turnout, because it was leading to this, it was fueling this imposter syndrome of like, other dancers can turn out and I can't, something's wrong with me. Whereas I just really didn't understand how to work with my own body. And when I finally started to get proper instruction, there were even a lot of mental and emotional blocks that were holding me back from implementing the training, like feeling shame and humiliation for actually needing to rotate my feet inward slightly so that I could feel the proper muscles. So there were so many things there that I think, without addressing both the kinesiological, the mental, the emotional, and the pedagogical, I try so hard to say that word, all those components, it's very hard to build turnout that is at our maximum and it's sustainable. So those are my 2+ cents on that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I would love to hear next. Why do you guys think it is so important to change the way that we approach our turnout, compared to, let's say, the conventional approach of just telling dancers things like, oh, pull up out of your hips, rotate from the hips. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? Why do we need to change that? What's important about it?
Well, as you said, turnout is probably like one of the most foundational concepts found in ballet. And so every dancer is going to have that I need to get this kind of approach to it. So it's the way that we kind of change it, and why we need to change it is because it should no longer be about, I need to get this ASAP, but it's about the process. It's about getting through the journey to get to that point. And I think if teachers take that approach of, hey, I'm in here every single day with you, we're going to get this, then it's going to be that idea of, I may not have it all today, but at least I got some of this today. And then some of this is going to turn into some of this. And so then it's this. And, it keeps growing, and that knowledge and that ability keeps growing. And by the end of however long it may take, you've got that turnout, or you've got that whatever you're working for. Mm-hmm. So changing the way that we approach turnout is not only vital for our health, but it's also super important to understand that it's not all about the end product, but it's about what we do within the process. And I think that's what's honestly great about us and banding together is that we all see it from a different angle, and we can see
Mhm.
how it all kind of comes into play, and the human being is able to achieve whatever they're seeking out to achieve.
Yes, totally. Delaney, what do you think?
So my biggest thing is always to prevent those injuries because we always want to
Yeah.
prolong our career. We don't want to be done dancing at 20 years old because of needing a hip replacement or ankle injuries. And those are the biggest things I always see is knee pain, ankle pain, just
Yeah.
pain everywhere. So really just changing that idea and kind of getting out of your mind what you thought turnout needs to be.
Mhm.
What you were talking about, Kirsten, and just appreciating what your body can do for you right now to prevent those injuries. And it's also, I like to emphasize, yes, we want that visual change, but sometimes it's how you're feeling. I used to love whenever I change how I worked, my body would just feel so good. I
Yeah.
didn't have maybe like a degree difference in my turnout, but my body just felt so much better. And I feel like that's just part of taking care of your body so that if you take care of your body, it will take care of you in dancing as well.
Amen. Yes. Oh my gosh. As someone who has struggled with knee injuries that ultimately ended my career early, I totally relate to that. And one of the benefits I see of changing our approach to turnout is one that I believe will create a ripple effect in all other areas of technique, artistry, and even in your life, which is the value of redefining even what it means to be successful at one pursuit at any point in your journey. So for me, like I was saying earlier, I used to be a young dancer thinking, this is what good turnout is. And I just have to do whatever it takes to get there, versus being more thoughtful of redefining maybe even each day or assessing what turnout do I have to access today? What can I do to access it? And also redefining my measures of success with turnout was just so transformative. So instead of looking in the mirror and being like, okay, my feet are here, success, but my knees were clearly twisting. I was pronating. My joints would be sore afterwards. I clearly could not maintain that in the center. But you know what, bar? That was success. Instead, when I started to have patience and be more inquisitive, like, okay, well, what if proper turnout today was more of a feeling of stability and freedom in my joints, and connection with my whole body rather than just pressure in one joint. And when you start to think differently about that area of your technique, you can apply that same those same principles to things like adagio. Instead of my leg has to be here, and if it's here, if it's anything less than this, that's disappointing, that's failure, that's frustrating. Instead, having that more resourceful, inquisitive attitude of what can I learn, what can I do, what is good for today. I find that principle translates so beautifully into confidence in all other areas if you allow it to. So I love helping dancers change their approach. Even with my one-on-one clients, we'll work through one challenge that they're experiencing, and then they'll start to see how that process of change translates to a bunch of other areas of their career and their life. So I just think that's super cool and empowering. All right, let's go to what benefits have you both seen in your own dancing and in your students by changing their approach to turnout?
So as I was kind of saying earlier, the benefits, it's kind of like baking. It's, you put all these ingredients together and you don't really see the final product. At first, you kind of see this mush and you're like, I don't get it. Like, what's the point? But as soon as you put it into the oven and you realize when the process actually occurs, you come out with this amazing, tasty bread. And it's very much the same, because when the benefits of it is that it's not that you go to like a seminar and you learn these top three things and you take away with it, but it's that you actually go through that process and you can understand within yourself, and it sticks a lot better. So in my own training and how I've kind of taught turnout, I teach it in that sense of what you have today is acceptable. What you have today is more than acceptable. and your worth is not tied into what you do. However, it's tied into just you being here. Your worth doesn't have anything to do with an action. And so when my dancers are in my class and we're constantly trying to get that turnout within movement, it's always about that kind of like reminder. And from the beginning of the day, or beginning of the, I guess, series or a time together to the end, these students kind of pick up this like, oh, I remember him saying this in the beginning, and so I'm going to apply that here. And so it's all about really the journey. And so me as an educator and me as someone who puts human beings first, it's about again that process of being with them, being in step with them, so that they understand, okay, I know that I may not have the knowledge, but at least this guy is here with me, and he does. And so I can rely on that person, and I can trust that he's going to get me there. So it's the benefits of that, I think, far outweigh someone who is at the front of the room and kind of puts up a wall. Because it's about relationships after all, and it can be professional, but it's about those relationships that you make. So I think it's really true.
I totally believe that. And even there's lots of research suggesting that the Pygmalion effect of what the person at the front of the room believes is what the students end up actualizing. That's a real effect. And so even like every time you speak, Austin, and Delaney too, it's like I feel your belief in the people that you're working with, and I seek to project that as well anytime I'm speaking to someone. And it does make a difference, because as dancers, we all struggle at one point to believe that we can, because we're pushing ourselves. That is a side effect of pushing yourself towards excellence. It's reaching the end of your skill level for the day, or your mental capacity, your amount of resilience you're able to give. And so having someone who is creating a container of belief, like, I believe you, I'm holding you, I'm, with you in this, it's so transformative. And I've seen it prevent students from giving up on themselves. Even if they haven't given up on the program, I have experienced moments of giving up on myself in my journey where I'm like, I'm here, but I don't believe I can do this. So that's really huge, Austin, what you give, and it's definitely felt. And we're going to also get to some results and feedback you got from the Turnout Talks series you did on your Instagram page. I want to hear about that. I want you to share it with the people, because I know you got some great feedback from your audience. But Delaney, I'd love to hear, what are some of the benefits you've seen in yourself and your students when you change your approach?
I really liked when Austin talked about how it's like baking, because it really is. When I work one-on-one with dancers, a lot of times we're not just going to work turned out the whole entire time.
Yeah.
For the first few weeks, depending on their progress, first month, we're just going to break it all down. First, we're going to put the eggs in. We're just going to work on that. Then we're going to put the flour in. We're just going to work on that. We break it all down so all those muscles are nice and strong, and they are able to activate them on their own and actually respond to me with what they're feeling, what they should feel, what they're doing. They actually have this full understanding of their body by the time we actually, I don't want to say test, but kind of test where they're at, just to kind of give them their little results type of thing. And I always love the look on their faces when, even if we just do like single leg stuff, just so they can feel that turnout and their faces light up, because they're like, oh my God, I have never felt anything like this before. And it makes me so happy when I hear that, because it really makes it seem like something clicked. And I know a lot of times dancers, when they have to start slow, they're like, this isn't going to work. This is going to take forever. I'm never going to see those results, because we're so into those quick fixes. But I love the dancers that are just going to come along with me on that journey. And by the end, it's like, I don't even know. They've never seen sliced bread before. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'll add briefly that one thing that I love to see is also that look on their face where they're like, that worked. And I'm like, well, yes, but I get it. It's like, we get surprised that it's like, oh, it worked for me though. Wow, I didn't know I could feel that way. And that is so exciting to see. And I love taking them through that process of adopting the beginner's mind again, of like being totally open to a new process. And It's so funny to kind of see the like, wait, huh? We're like for you, Delaney, we're taking just one area at a time. Oh, wait, is that gonna work? Working in parallel? Like what? I love challenging those assumptions and then helping dancers to break through a lot of the expectations and assumptions that are actually holding them back from making progress. So many dancers think that the expectations they need to have of themselves, they have to be super high or they won't work hard enough. But it's honestly a lot of those high expectations that are discouraging them every day, causing tension in their body because of the emotional frustration they're experiencing. And so to help them break through, taking away all the, oh, I have to be this way by now. Approaching turnout has to look like this. This is the path, taking them off of that, those sets of assumptions and taking them into a journey of exploration and possibility. It's so cool to see them open up and be like, wow, instead of the have to mentality of like, I have to be this by now, or else I'm not a good dancer, or else I'm not turned out, or whatever. It's the get to like, wow, I get to explore how much more rotation I can get through this little thing today, or I get to experiment with this idea today. And it totally changes their energy in class and also their belief in themselves when they see how much they actually don't need that pressure and that smack towards themselves to actually make progress. It's so encouraging. So to kind of finish up, I would love to talk about the program that we will be putting together, or we are putting together for dancers. Turnout Talks is what we're calling it. And you guys, this is, I'll ask you, Austin, to kind of kick us off here, because really this started with you.
Yeah.
And in a free series that you led on your Instagram account. I was a part of it. Delaney was a part of it. And it was so cool to even see in the comments some of the feedback you got about that. So tell us, Austin, about the series that you did, and then we'll start talking about the program that we're offering to dancers.
Yeah. So the series that I was a part of, and that you guys obviously were, it was all about focusing on turnout and from a holistic manner. And so it was really about kind of diving in. And so like the first week, it was about getting to like the roots of the matter and trying to figure out why we want to force this turnout, or why we want it so bad. What are some of the factors that come into play? And then the second week, we kind of talked about going back to anatomy and really kind of feeling what it could be for our own diverse bodies to what turnout might look like and whatnot. And then good ways to enter into the practice of finding your turnout. And then the third week was all about getting that outside knowledge. So I had Delaney come in and excellently put things into perspective of like some actions that you can do to help achieve that turnout, increase, locate where it might be, put it into practice, things of that sort. And then we just like went full circle right in the fourth week and went right back into the heart of the matter of like, why is it that we want this? We need to return to that, because after all, it really is a mental thing. It's such a physical thing is really a mental thing. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, turnout is one of the basic foundational concepts of ballet. And it seems to be something that is always on our minds when we're dancing or when we're taking class. So I saw a need and I just decided to fill it, and to the best of my ability at the time. And it turned out to be an amazing success. It turned out to be something that I never thought would work quite as well. So it was really cool because like for me, I knew I didn't have all the knowledge. And so I needed to incorporate many people. And so if you're watching this now, feel free to go to my page and check out the highlight links, because I put every single post, every single IGTV that we did with my friends on that link. So you don't even have to scroll back. I made it so easy for you.
Yeah. Everything will be linked down below. And Austin, it was so amazing and inspiring to see what you started. And I'm so excited to participate in it in the private program we're putting together. We're putting together a cohort of 12 dancers to really take them through the implementation process of these ideas of what do we need to change in our training, in our understanding of our anatomy, in our approach to ballet class, in our mental and emotional relationship with turnout in order to maximize our personal rotation. And of course, we know that rotation or turnout, it also has a profound effect on your stability and your technique, your strength, your sense of confidence as you dance, because we all know that since turnout is so foundational, if you are feeling unstable, wobbly, insecure about it, turnout is a part of every single movement in ballet. And so it does translate into not feeling so good about your dancing. So we're using turnout as like a starting point. We're helping you with that to really change it and supplement to the rest of your ballet training, so that then you can already have a sense of confidence in your dancing, a sense of amazement by the end of the 4 weeks we'll be working together, that like, wow, you made way more progress than you thought. And Austin, I love that, especially on your platform, you have such a heart to add, to give people access to education, ballet education that's not only science backed, it's effective. Like you said, it's ballet for the 21st century. And I love that it's kind of decentralized knowledge. Instead of having to go to, move across the world and go to one of the top programs and pour thousands of dollars into tuition per semester, you can get access to this training that is from people who have been through that process before, been through that training, and also had outside education after these pre-professional programs. You can get access to this knowledge in a condensed amount of time and have education on how to really maximize your personal turnout that is just an addition to the training you're already doing. You don't have to take yourself out of your practice currently and all that. So I just love that we're making this accessible, and it really started with you, Austin. And so I'm really grateful that we get to collaborate. So how about this? Are there any other things that you want to mention, Austin, about the program that we're putting together before we close up and I invite people to go check out the details of the program and enroll?
I honestly, I think it's good to note the people's reactions to the knowledge during the series, during the free series on my page, because it's, I'm going to share with you some of the things that people said, because
Please.
When they said it, I was like, oh wow, like this is conveying to people. People are getting this, and it's changing them. It's changing the way that they view things. And so, like, I'll just share a couple of comments that people have made in some of the posts. But like one person said, I'm so happy I came across your Insta page, loving the messages you're putting out there. Another person said, this came just in time. I literally was having a little problem with my knees and didn't know exactly why. I thought about forcing my turnout too much, and you confirmed that. Thank you. I'm like, whoa. 3 people loved this post a lot, and they said, so well explained, thank you. They said, tried liking this twice, but love it. Another person said, amazing. And then this person said that these tips helped me as a dance instructor and a dancer. Thank you for sharing. There's so many people were just so grateful. This was great and so validating to what I'm aiming for. Thank you both for your experience and knowledge. So that was probably during one of the times where we collaborated. There's so many people were very just happy that there's something there that was actually, tangible and able to convey to the general crowd, and it wasn't something that they needed to, push so much effort for. This is a good one. This person said, your February posts are great. I really feel the difference between teachers who approach turnout with appropriate exercises and consciousness, and the teachers who think turnout can be drilled into a person as if it only results of grit without any strategy.
Yes.
So the amount of feedback that I got, it prompted this, okay, we need to apply this. We need people to be able to implement this into their lives, because as you said earlier, it's kind of like, well, we could give something, but if there's not that kind of accountability, if there's not those people in front of you with you, taking you along with this journey, that it's not going to stick as well. And so I honestly can't recommend this program enough. And I'm biased, but at the same time, I'm not, because people have said that this is amazing.
Right.
Because I can't recommend it enough, because it's something that will be life-changing. It's something that will be very impactful in the way that you approach your training. So just look at all the info, check it out. If you're interested, go to my page, look at all the stuff that my friends and I have made during the month of February for Turnout Talks, the series, before you make a final decision. That's all I got to say about it. I'm just very excited about it. So
Yeah.
Large tangent.
Oh, no, I really appreciate it. And you're so right, Austin. I mean, all three of us have social media platforms. We put out a lot of education for free because we're passionate about spreading awareness of these ideas that we think are important for every dancer to know, no matter of their ability to pay or not. We all have a heart for that. But we also know that high touch environment, like in a ballet class where you have interactions with the teacher, you have motivation that comes from being a part of a group, you have a specific amount of time where it's like, by the end of the semester, this is where I want to be. Having those interactions that are more personal with this content instead of it just being for free is what really creates a transformative experience. Because one thing I've noticed is like, you can learn anything for free on the internet, but how often does that actually cause us to change our lives? Mm-hmm. It doesn't. So we wanted to really take what Austin started with and turn it into this program where Delaney is going to be working on the strength training, the anatomy, all that side of things with the dancers in the first cohort. And I'm going to be working on the mental and emotional side of Turnout. And then Austin with the approach of how do we implement these ideas into ballet class in a way that's evidence-based. So we're bringing all these things together and creating a specific experience for dancers where within 4 weeks, you're going to see a big transformation in your own ability to rotate and to feel really confident in your abilities. So with all that being said, like Austin shared, please go ahead and go back to his page and see the series that he put together. It's so awesome. And then also you'll be able to click the link down below to a web page where you can learn about the specifics of what the program includes, how it works, how to apply. Like I mentioned, we're only taking 12 dancers. Enrollment closes Wednesday, April 27th at the end of the day. So get in on this. We're going to start Saturday, April 30th. And it's just going to be such a cool and encouraging time to get to train alongside other dancers from all over the world and up-level your technique together with people who you hopefully think are cool and fun to hang out with and learn from. So I'm excited. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the channel. Thank you everyone for watching. And oh, yes, a nice little dog. I was imagining like roses being thrown at me and music with, how do you like those ballet hands? I do that when I'm joking. Don't worry, I do know how to make a nice little ballet hand. Not like the people are super worried about that. But anyway, thank you guys. And I hope you guys have a great day. I hope everyone watching also has a great day. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye, everyone.